Hi, my name is Joshua Spisman. I'm an associate professor of finance here at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles, and I'm teaching an introductory finance course this semester along with my colleague, Professor David Offenberg. And I was thinking of ways that we could, bring what's happening in the real world into the classroom. And David graciously agreed to do the sort of weekly updates on things that we're reading that are interesting to us and also tied into what we're teaching in an intro to finance course. And so I'll let my colleague, Professor Offenberg, introduce himself as well.
Right. Hi, I'm David Offenberg. I'm also an associate professor of finance at Loyola Marymount. Now, Josh, it seems to me that something is bothering you today.
Yes. So I've been, reading the news and checking out some of the Bloomberg terminal things and data and seeing that, Elon Musk has become the richest person in the world. And that, I've been trying to figure out why is that? And, this chart, I think this figure really shows us what's happening. Elon Musk is now worth $201.4 billion. And he passed Jeff Bezos, who's in second place, if you will, worth a paltry $183.4 billion.
That's awesome.
And I was trying to think, why is this the case and what's actually happening?
Now, is it the case that Tesla is bigger than Amazon?
Well, I'm glad that you asked. So if you look at the size and revenue of these two companies. We also threw AT&T in there as well as a third comparison group. Amazon's is a much bigger company. It's worth almost twice the size of Tesla. Its revenues are far exceeding Tesla's, and perhaps interesting as well, the revenues of AT&T are much larger than Tesla as well, even though AT&T ends up being the smallest company of the three by quite a bit, actually.
Okay, so it's not that Tesla is bigger. Is it the case that Tesla is just more profitable?
So if you look at their net income, Tesla, again, in third place, and Amazon is much larger has much more net income than Tesla. And AT&T's net income is also much more than Tesla. So I don't really think it's a profitability story either.
Okay,
This is
so if
why it was
Tesla,
bothering me.
right, so if Tesla is not bigger and Tesla is not more profitable, then how the heck is Elon Musk wealthier than Jeff Bezos?
Yeah. So I think one thing that's happening is last year was a fantastic year for Tesla stock. It increased by about 720%. You can see it just dwarfed the S&P 500, which had a pretty good year, all things considered. Amazon increased by 71%, which still, but that wasn't enough. So I think
It's an amazing year.
it's an amazing year. So you see this happening, where the stock just had a tremendous year for Tesla.
So it looks like investors are just super, super, super excited about Tesla. Why do you think that is?
Yeah. Well, so I think I have a couple thoughts. I mean, but I think one of the key things is that when we're looking at stocks and the value of stocks, we're focused on what's going to happen in the future. And it can't just all be about, it's not just about what have you done for me in the past, it's what do we think is going to happen in the future. And when you look at these companies, Amazon might have a lot of room to grow, but it's maybe not as much as Tesla. It's already a very large company, as we already saw. And AT&T, what is going to happen in the future with AT&T? It would seem that Tesla has more growth opportunities than AT&T.
Oh, for sure. And can we see in any other metrics the
Yeah,
excitement that investors have about Tesla?
we can. So on that profitability slide, we also have the PE ratio, so the price to earnings. And you could see that Tesla's price to earnings ratio is 1,606, which is just a massive price to earnings ratio. So the market,
And just to put that in perspective, AT&T's at 19. That's pretty normal, right?
yeah, 19 is pretty normal, exactly. And so what's happening here is the market, no one's paying for Tesla's current earnings because you're paying $1,606 for $1 of earnings today. What you're paying for is the future earnings that Tesla's going to give you. And so it's a very forward-looking number. And Amazon at 91 is actually relatively high as well. So the market is definitely paying for a lot of what's going to happen in the future with Amazon as well.
Right. And all of this would make sense if Elon Musk owned 100% of Tesla and Jeff Bezos owned 100% of Amazon, but that's not what happens either, right?
That's not what happens either. So I think we can also see in the ownership of these two companies. So one of the things we know that happened with Amazon is Jeff Bezos got divorced, and so he owns currently 10.61% of Amazon shares. His ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott, owns 4% of Amazon shares. So you can see that some of that Amazon stock was lost from Jeff Bezos. And then if we go to Tesla, we can see that Elon Musk, he owns 18% of Tesla. So that 8% difference, where he owns 8% more of the company, is certainly part of what's happening as well when it comes down to who's richer than the other.
And so it seems that Jeff Bezos' wealth is tied to the fact that his firm is actually producing cash for its investors, whereas Elon Musk's wealth is tied to the fact that investors hope his firm is going to produce cash for investors. Is that right?
I think that's exactly right.
Excellent. So we've solved your question.
Yes, I can sleep easy this weekend now.
Excellent. Well, do it then. Sleep well, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, David.